All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know you haven't seen this ugly mug here on YouTube in a while, but I've been busy with life, busy with work, busy with everything, and but I had to get this in really quickly. I just found out about 30 or 40 minutes ago that DeAndre Hopkins, D Hop, is expected to sign with the Tennessee Titans on a 2-year, $26 million deal. Um, I will say I was worried that we probably was not going to get D Hop because um, you heard the rumors. Everybody likes to have that little in when they like to start the rumors around that they flew him on Southwest and that he wasn't happy about it, but he got to talk to a lot of the guys on the team. The captains like Jeffrey Simmons. He got to talk to Rank Carthon as a general manager. Everybody was pissed because we didn't draft any receivers until the seventh round. But I knew then at the draft, I knew the Titans had something working, something to where they were going to respond to that. And I know some people were pissed about it. Traylon Burks is doing really good during camp. Training camp is coming up here in the next week or two. Plus, we got NFL season coming up, and Um, I was looking because some people were wondering why the Titans got the really bad passing game, or going to be a really bad passing game. But now we fixed the offensive line issue to an extent. Um, we know Ryan Tannehill's on the last year of his deal. Derrick Henry is on the last year of his deal. Um, Not sure what's going to happen with Tannehill or with King Henry, but DeAndre Hopkins can still ball. This is a different, and I know some Titan fans, it's left a bad taste in your mouth because I remember when we signed Andre Johnson, that was the last. He was on his last leg, and we signed him, and that didn't work out. And then we signed Randy Moss, and Jeff Fisher really didn't use him, and he was on his last leg. And then we signed Julio Jones, who really didn't do very much for us at all. But Julio Jones was also going through injuries. DeAndre Hopkins has still got gas in the tank. And I feel like Traylon Burks can really benefit from learning from D Hop, and I think that this is going to be a different scenario because I was going to be getting a couple of guys here together. Dude, we're going to be doing an NFL panel here in the next couple of days, couple of weeks. Haven't sure exactly what day and what time yet, but you guys will know as soon as I do because I will promote it and everything. Um, when I'm looking at this thing with DeAndre Hopkins, let me look at his steady stats. Now we do know him very well. He played for Houston for a while, and he burned us quite a bit. Believe me. Um, but I can honestly say that we didn't know what was going to happen with DeAndre Hopkins because you you get that notion that what is he waiting to sign with Cincinnati? Is he waiting for Buffalo to come about? Is he waiting for Kansas City to come about? And honestly, what happened was is he decides to sign with the Tennessee Titans, and actually, it was my wife that told me that he signed, and I was kind of shocked by it because I was like, because when you hear the reports, you hear that he's going to go to New England, but then again, Bill O'Brien, who's a former Houston Texan coach who he had problems with, is the offensive coordinator in New England, and New England's already got some receiving core help. Um, Now, is Ryan Tannehill better than Mac Jones? Yes, in my opinion, he is. Um, Now, this is kind of where it is a no excuse situation for Ryan Tannehill. This is the last year of his deal. You got Traylon Burks, who's healthy, he's looking good. You got a up and coming tight end who's doing a really amazing job last year as a rookie. And now he's the head guy now. You got an offensive line now. You got King Henry still, who was second in yards. And that's another thing too. It's it's that the media, sports media, people on TikTok, I've seen it on Twitter, people are underlining us and pretty much thinking we're going to go 7-10 or 7-9. It's just they're doubting us, and that's where the Tennessee Titans play their best is when you start to doubt them. And this is a situation where Tannehill's got no excuse. You've got an offensive line now. You've got Derrick Henry. You got a really good defense. Harold Landry's coming back from that ACL. Jeffrey Simmons re-signed. Kevin Byard's situation's been fixed. They have gotten better, and they gotten better on the defensive front with Arden Key, which I thought was a really bad move for Jacksonville to get rid of him. Rasheed Weaver, Rashawn Weaver is getting put on more muscle. He's looking better too on the outside linebacker. We look more fresh and more hungry. And, with Rand Carthon coming from San Francisco and kind of giving that San Francisco way, 49er way to this philosophy, I think is going to really work out well for us this season. Now, you heard the reports that Deandre Hopkins wanted to sign with because he is toward the last couple years of his career, but he wanted to sign with a team that was going to go to the Super Bowl. But I honestly thought, and ladies and gentlemen, I thought he was playing New England and Tennessee and he was going to play the weight game to see what Kansas City was going to do and what Buffalo or Cincinnati or someone big like that was going to do. But to my surprise, he must feel like the Tennessee Titans can win the AFC South. And the AFC South is still up for grabs. Jacksonville, I'm going to tell you Jaguar fans this. You guys are very, very lucky last year. Yeah, you won the division. Congratulations. But if we didn't have the injuries that we were going through and we didn't lose 7 games straight, we'd be talking about a whole different ball game. And some people think that Houston is up and coming. Houston's up and coming too. Houston did amazing in the draft last year. They did amazing in the draft this year. Houston is that little wild card team in the AFC South that you want to watch out for. Jacksonville really didn't do much during the offseason to kind of really advance more. So this AFC South division is still up for grabs. And as long as Derrick Henry can produce, as long as DeAndre Hopkins stays healthy, as long as Treylon Burks, progresses, and Tannehill doesn't degress in the Titans defense. The Titans defense held us into a lot of ball games last year. I think this is a make or break. This is kind of one of those things where you have a chance now to show the world who you really are. And if you don't, there's got some things that are going to have to be changed in this organization. And with a new stadium on the horizon, which I'm still not a fan. I mean, I know some Titan fans are, but I'm still not a fan of it. I mean, I love Nissan Stadium, and it could just be worked on. They could have added things to it. They could have made it look a little bit better, but we're getting a new stadium. So with that new stadium, you want the Titans to look good. You want them to be good. You want them to represent this town and this city. Because if you live here in Nashville, or if you live in Tennessee mostly, Nashville is more of a hockey town. They love their Nashville Predators. you have the fans around here that will go, well, I used to like the Titans back when Eddie George, Steve McNair. I'm like, you got some bandwagon fans who come on the scene and go, oh no, we suck. And then when DeAndre Hopkins signed, oh, we're gonna be good again. You have those kind of motherfuckers who, you know, can't just stay with a team, ride or die with a team. Whether your team's losing or having a losing season, revamping. I bleed two tone blue, and I will for the rest of my life. Whether they are good, whether they're bad, whether they're disgusting, or whatever the case may be. That is, to me, is what a true fan really is. Um, of course, you're going to have some people who kind of come to training camp who are going to act like they're so big in the Titans. Oh, I love the Tennessee Titans. Oh, I love them. I love them. I love them. And then if DeAndre Hopkins doesn't produce the way he needs to produce, they're going to be like, oh, I freaking knew it. He wasn't going to produce. Why we keep spending money on people that never does anything for us? And that's how these fans are here. And it makes me sick sometimes when that happens, because I'm like, okay, so they gambled. Rand Carthon, this is his first year as a general manager. He wanted to make an impression. He's a former player. He played for the Indianapolis Colts with Peyton Manning. He did a lot of good scouting for San Francisco for years, which is why San Francisco's had that good of a team that they've had the last couple of years. So I have my faith in Rand Carthon. I think that he evaluated the situation. Who knows? They still may go out to get another veteran receiver to play with Burks and Hopkins. It still could happen. There's a lot of what ifs. I don't like playing the what if game because there's a lot of this could work. This could work in the favor of Tennessee, or this could really be a bad move. I honestly, personally believe that it's going to be a good move. I feel like Tennessee picked the right person for this situation. I know some fans were hoping that the Jets were going to cut Corey Davis and Corey Davis was going to come back to Tennessee. That still could possibly happen because, the Jets have already loaded up there with Aaron Rodgers being there. They're loaded up with Alan Lazar, and they signed Randall Cobb, and they still have Garrett Wilson. So, you got poor old Corey Davis is sitting right down there, probably at the 4th or the 5th spot in the depth chart, which is still a pretty good deep depth chart if you're the Jets. But in this situation, though, I'm looking at it from a different perspective. I'm looking at it like, obviously, D Hop wants to be here. Obviously, D Hop is familiar with Tennessee. He's familiar with us because all the years he's played with Houston. He knows Mike Vrabel. He knows Coach Vrabel, who I feel like doesn't get enough respect for being one of the longest tenure coaches in the NFL right now and being coach of the year about 2 years ago. But, that's just, the one thing I like about Coach Vrabel is that he speaks the truth. He doesn't sugarcoat it. He doesn't, what you see is what you get. And that's something that I've always respected about him. And I feel like that's what this team needs. This team's identity is what it needs to be. Now with DeAndre Hopkins there and with a new offensive coordinator, are we going to pass it more during the offseason? Because I remember when Rand Carthon had a press conference, he was like, we should probably run it more toward later in the year. And then is that going to happen? Is there going to be a mixture of both? Derrick Henry, last year of his deal, a lot of people think he had a decline from last year, but I'm like, hey, when you play with a really horrible offensive line and you are still second in touchdowns, second in yards, and in the top 5 in carries, you're doing all right. That just shows you the player that he was. Now we've addressed it some parts of the offensive line, I see no reason why Derrick Henry can't go crazy. But we got a really good young running back from the draft as well that I feel like could take a little bit of load off of King Henry. The biggest situation though is Ryan Tannehill. Is last year of his deal. You have Malik Willis, who's doing really better in camp, from what I hear. Will Levis, we'll see. I remember being a UT fan and seeing him play in Kentucky. Um, right now, from what I've heard, Malik Willis is out playing him in training camp. Right now, he's third on the depth chart. Willis is second. Things can change because we still got training camp at preseason. Maybe there's something that Will Levis does that just amazes it. I don't know. Uh, but right now, as we speak, Ryan Tannehill is the starting quarterback of the Tennessee Titans. After that, I don't know. DeAndre Hopkins obviously sees something in this team, and obviously talking with Vrabel and Carthon, he sees something. He sees potential in this team. Obviously, he wouldn't have signed if he didn't. Um, because if he really wanted to go with a team that was going to be the best team in the world, he probably would have went with Philly or Kansas City or Dallas or Buffalo. He would have went somewhere like that. But he decided to go with the Titans. And he will probably be number one on the depth chart. I would assume that he would be number one on the depth chart. Burks is going to be a good number two. Burks can learn a lot from him. Uh, I feel like this is going to be a situation for Burks where a lot of eyes are going to be on D Hop, and this is going to be one of those. I think Burks is going to have a breakout year. His sophomore season, I think he's going to have a breakout year. Kyle Phillips did show some flashes last year. He's put on a little bit of weight now. He probably will be the third slot receiver, and we'll see what Titans can do. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for D Hop to be here. I feel like in a situation like this, we desperately needed help at the receiver position. And I feel like D Hop fits that mold of what we're looking for. D Hop can probably teach this receiver core how to break free, how to get down the field. You know, he was suspended for 6 games last year for the Cardinals, he still showed explosiveness. Um, so I still think he's got a lot more in the tank than Julio Jones did, and when Randy Moss came here and when Andrew Johnson came here. I feel like he's got more tank in them and in those three gentlemen than before. So I don't know, Titans fans, Titan Nation, what you guys think? Even if you're not a Titans fan, what do you guys think about this? Is this a good move for Tennessee? Was this a good move for D Hop? Should he have signed with New England, or should he have waited it out, see what happened in training camp? Maybe there was an injury and he could have signed with a team that was destined to go to the Super Bowl or win one. You guys let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of that. Anyways, I'm excited about it. I know what this cat could do. Watched him years playing for Houston, and he beat the crap out of us quite a bit with him and Deshaun Watson together. This is not just, I want to let this be known, it's not a guarantee that we're going to win the AFC South, because Jacksonville's still coached by, they're coached really good by Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson did lead the Eagles to a Super Bowl and win one. Houston has made some good changes. I feel like Houston's going to be very up and coming. So this is one of those AFC South things where it's not going to be a walk in the park for the Titans this year. It's going to be a dogfight. But I feel like that's what Tennessee likes. They love the dogfight. So strap it up, tighten up, get your popcorn ready. Let's see what happens. Does D Hop fit in well with Ryan Tannehill, or will Tannehill not throw it to him much? Because Tannehill does have a tendency to throw it to people that he's familiar with. And I know him and D Hop finally talked while DeAndre Hopkins was here for the visit, but will they click? Will it take a while for them to click? I don't know, but I know DeAndre Hopkins will be here for training camp, and he will be reporting here in Nashville. So I feel like we're going to see a really good thing here for Tennessee. Now, will they make the playoffs or will they won't make the playoffs? That's too soon to tell. But what I can honestly promise you is that if D Hop plays the way he has, even when he played for the Cardinals, those teams who used to put 8 in the box to try to stop Derrick Henry, you're going to want to have to double D Hop, and then that's going to leave open Traylon Burks. That's going to leave open a lot of our young receivers and our young tight ends, and that's going to leave Derrick Henry open. So this is also a good thing for this offense, and I'm waiting to see what Tim Kelly does with this offense, because we all know how bad the offensive coordinator it was last year, and I'm not even going to mention his name. That's how bad it is. But tighten up, Titan Nation. This is Big Kev signing out. Peace.